Hi and welcome to day 1 of week 9 of training cycle 2 of 2021. The grind continues. Everything continues. Everything sucks. School's insane. And that isn't really school's fault. That's just my fault for the most part. Yeah. The reason that things are piling up is because I haven't been doing enough throughout the rest of the year. So right now it's basically just sleep is going. Sleep is disappearing. Like all I want to do is sleep for the most part. So I'm battling low sleep, trying to, fit a lot of information in my brain and get stronger. And I'm actually successfully doing all these things, but at a cost of it's difficult, man. It's difficult. It's so difficult to train really hard and really heavy and make progress when you're on low sleep. But I did squat 132.5 today, which is a lifetime record. The depth was questionable, but the speed was fantastic. So I don't know if I should count that, but I'm going to count it as a record, whatever. So tomorrow's challenge will be to go maybe 1 centimeter deep or so, which will probably slow down my bar speed considerably. And obviously, there is a self-preservation effect where when you're scared of that heavy weight, you're not going to go as deep, which I'm having that problem because I'm not using a power rack. And I'm using pretty much, it's not quite low bar, but it's like a hybrid squat-ish, but with the way I squat, I can get crushed under the weight. And no one's going to help me, and I am probably going to die if I, get crushed in the wrong positions. If I get a barbell on my head or on my neck or in similar situations, I'm not made of steel. I'm just, my bones are made of calcium just like everyone else's, and my muscles are made of fucking muscle cells. I don't know. What I'm trying to say is I'm not a cyborg. I'm going to break physically if I get a heavy weight, dropped on top of me. And that makes squatting and benching and everything else more intimidating, is I don't have a power rack, and I probably won't want to dish out the money for that in a long time. I don't think it's worth it to me. I'd rather take the risk of seriously injuring myself, but that risk is still pretty low, if that makes sense. The consequence is very high, but the risk is low. It's like climbing, a tower without ropes. The consequence is high. You can die, absolutely, but the risk is low because you're not very likely to fall, if that makes sense. So that's kind of what I'm thinking about right now in terms of squatting really heavy without a power rack. And all I need to do is survive this training cycle. And after that, there'll be another training cycle. But it will be after the summer break, so all good. Summer break is going to be dedicated to the deadlift, catching the deadlift up a little bit, as well as running. It's going to be crazy running. Not in terms of volume, but just there are going to be a couple small adjustments I will make in the programming for the running, including switching shoes. Which switching shoes, you may see that as cheating, but I usually ran with running shoes. And nowadays I actually use boots, which I'm using that so that I can get to my old levels with much higher body weight and with boots, so that when I take the boots off and use regular running shoes, now I'm a lot faster. So it's like a compensation effect to where if I can hit the same numbers I used to and then I take the boots off, I'm well in front of my old self, especially since I'm gaining so much body weight. Not massive amounts, but I mean, you can read the titles for yourself. 150 kilo deadlift at 74 kilos body weight, right? And then, like, not many weeks later, man, then you can see 100 kilogram bench press at 79 kilos body weight. Right now, I'm about, what am I, like 77, 78. looking to hit 79 and above fairly soon. Well, really, it's scheduled for this week, so as average weight. So that's going to be another factor to why I can't sleep as much, as the night meals are going to increase in calories in order to increase the overall calories of the day and increase the body weight. So this is, yeah, it's lucky that I'm not an employee, because if I was, and if I had to work this much, when you count school and training in, and how little free time I have, if I was an employee, I would be very, very, very fed up with my life already. Luckily, I'm doing this for myself. I have my own personal goals, which drives me, but it's still very difficult and annoying to be extremely tired and every single day just train and train and train and train. And the weights just keep going up. And it's like my training program is not relentless in terms of how hard it is in a singular session, but it is relentless in its consistency, and it's relentless in the fact that no matter how I feel, I pretty much have to train every single day. Now, I did have one rest day so far this training cycle. I was so tired so that I had to redo the video where I explained why I had a rest day legitimately 35 times. I did count, it was somewhere in that range, might have been 32 or 38, but it was about 35 times, between 30 and 40 times that I had to remake that short 2-minute video, because I kept going off topic. My brain wasn't functioning at all, and if I sound stupid now, I mean, it's not even a comparison, because right now it's like 1:40 a.m. I have to wake up 7 a.m. tomorrow. I just did my stretching before this. I need to upload this. I need to get a meal in. By the way, guys, my nose is just, so I can't really speak properly. I have to get a meal in, and I have to shower, because, otherwise my bed sheets are gonna stink. And the fact is, like, when you train like this, you have to fucking shower, unless you're a fucking savage, in the bad sense of the word, which I am in the good way, but not in the bad way. At least I aspire to be. But anyway, I have to shower, I have to brush my teeth, all the terrible things that you have to do. Well, not terrible, but just time consuming. The time's disappearing. And it's like everyone in my household has been asleep for multiple hours, and I'm still like up there in the attic training, and still have to go downstairs, rest, do the jump rope for we're getting up to past 16 minutes at this point. We're hitting new personal records on the jump rope, new all-time lifetime records every single day in the jump rope, because that's what the program calls for. You guys don't see the jump rope, obviously, but I think it is pretty clear that I'm doing some form of extra cardio, because otherwise my running wouldn't be improving so significantly without any form of extra stimulus. So that explains the run gains. I'm not going in circles just yet, but I have lost my train of thought. So I'm just gonna, I do think that I just heard a noise in my house. And there is no one downstairs, so that's kind of creepy. But I always talk about creepy shit in my house in these videos, and that's not relevant. What is relevant, however, is the fact that the rows and the chin-ups, especially the rows, were really, really hard today. But I am happy. Since the last training cycle, we were doing 60 kilos for 18 reps. Now I'm doing 70 kilos for 17 reps. And the form is it is comparable, but the fact is I'm using 10 kilos more weight for very, very high reps. That does accumulate, that does have an effect, and that is why my deadlift is stronger. It's just overall I built a little bit more muscle this training cycle in pretty much all the muscles associated with deadlifting. I've also incorporated good mornings and glute bridges, which both have increased my deadlift, as well as grip training. Although grip training has been going terribly lately, including today. So, what do? I take 2.5 kilos off the weight from last week, I still can't lift it because the grip, I'm going to drop it. So annoyed, so angry. I'm thinking here, what do I do? Do I add the weight? Do I do it again? And I can't do it again. Let's be real here. So I take off a little bit of weight. I can't see here on the screen because this iMovie shit is kind of blocking that lower part of the screen. But I believe I went to like, let's see. I don't know how many kilos I went to, but a certain kilo amount, probably like, yeah, I probably went to 120, failed that, and then I went for 100 and held that. So I was just, yeah, exactly. That's the grip. That is grip. And I'm so fucking angry there. So grip is regressing. Obviously, the grip has a very strong correlation to the deadlift, especially when the grip is your weak link in the deadlift. So right now, we are looking at a situation to where I could fail a deadlift this weekend because of grip issues. Again, 2 weeks in a row, that's a very, very, very bad sign. So I went in here and I did 100. Even though 100 kilo hold was pretty bad. It was bad. Like, I was pretty much out of it, man. Yeah, that's pretty pathetic. So grip is terrible. Grip, like, terrible. Really, really bad. If my bench press or squat regressed this much, I would be kicking myself. So yeah, it's lucky it's just the grip training, but the grip does have something to do with the deadlift. So yeah, I'm gonna pay the repercussions for that later. Oh, my nose is terrible. Like, this is so annoying. Thing is, I jump rope and my nose clears up because I only do nose breathing during the jump rope. So the nose clears up immediately as soon as your carbon dioxide levels go up, or lactic acid, or whatever indicator there is. There's some biological indicator that just turns off your nose, from being congested. It just activates free, pathways. It just opens the nose up. I don't know any science behind this at all, but it's 100% confirmed by my own experience that when you have a congested nose and you only breathe through your nose and you start getting like really out of breath, the nose just clears up out of nowhere. Now, after jumping rope, like say 20 minutes after, once your heart rate has returned to somewhere close to normal, resting, which mine is at right now, slightly elevated obviously since I'm doing a video and since I just trained. But you catch my drift. Once the heart rate has gone back down, your nose just automatically just fills up with bullshit again. So now you can't breathe through the nose again. It's annoying, it's stupid, but that's just how the body works. That's how the human body works. And, well, it doesn't. That's how my body works. My body is stupid. Yeah, we're all, built with dysfunctions, with, things that make us less valuable from a physical standpoint. And I have a couple. And my nose behaving stupidly is one of them. Otherwise, I think I'm pretty good. I'm pretty covered on all the fronts. One thing I would like is more fast twitch muscle fibers, so I could be more explosive and powerful. But that would also really affect my cardio negatively, my cardiovascular conditioning, and I'm not sure that I would be a better taekwondo fighter because of it. Because there are a lot of really fast fighters out there, and the thing is they often get tired. They get tired, and that's because they're using more energy in a shorter period of time, and guys that are a little bit more slow twitch, which I'm not. I just say I'm somewhere in between, kind of explosive, but nothing shocking, and I'm not shockingly slow either. I'm just kind of regular. So I don't think there are many physical things I'd change about myself. I probably would, a couple, if I put some thought into it, but I'm pretty happy with the overall package that I've got, and I don't have any issues that hinder me from being able to use hard work and leverage that into actual progress, if that makes sense. I don't have some fucking disease which prevents me from being able to train my muscles and make them stronger, for example. I don't know what disease that would be, but, some people medically can't make muscle gains. Exercise non-responders, or no gainers. These are not hard gainers. These are people that actually make zero progress, apart from neurological adaptations, inter and intramuscular coordination benefits are the only benefits they can see, really, from training. Otherwise, they don't really respond to training at all. You can train them for a year. They don't really get stronger other than, 10% from just technique and learning how to move. That's unfortunate. But for me, yes, of course I have to work for my progress, but everyone else on the planet has to too. Pretty much no one just gets progress out of nowhere, unless, you just had chemotherapy and, you're completely crushed, and now you're good again, and now you can just, your body's just starting to, put weight back on, and that's the situation to where you would make physical progress without any training. But for the rest of us mere mortals, yeah, it's a tough ride. Another case would be like if you're on any form of performance enhancing drugs, but most people who are train as well. It's pretty unusual and pretty stupid to not train and to be on performance enhancing drugs that enhance the factors that would be multiplied if you trained along with it. So yeah, that's another factor. There are not many, but there are a few people who, just want to look good, especially young people who get on stupid, drugs, and that destroy their health, and they don't even, do the other 90% of what that lifestyle is supposed to be, which is, eating right and sleeping and training. And I'm being a bit hypocritical for this, for the sleeping part, yes, but this is supposed to be about fitness. It's becoming looks. It's becoming a male beauty pageant. Bodybuilding is, at least, and I think it's silly. So that's why I really focus on my performance most of the time, the weight, versus the body weight and all these other factors. That's why I don't do like physique updates or things along that things of that nature very often. Probably haven't done a quote unquote physique update since probably like well over a year ago, maybe almost 2 years ago. So yeah, we have to keep to our core principles, and one of mine is to be focused on actual athletic performance as opposed to physical appearance, because your appearance is largely correlated with the genetic factors, which doesn't mean what your parents look like. It just simply means what genetics you have. Because we all know, like, some people are way taller than both of their parents, for example. So it isn't just about your parents, it's about what attributes do you naturally have. For example, me, I've always had a lower appetite in proportion to what I burn. So I'm always going to be lean unless I really work to get bigger, unless my appetite changes in the future with age, which probably it's going to do to an extent. But my gift is that I've always been able to stay lean even while eating, stuff that would make other people very, very fat. So that is one benefit of my body. Once again, I can't come up with any, things that are bad or that I'd like to change just off the top of the bat. I think overall, it's important to be grateful for what we have, and you can find benefits in pretty much any body type. Being short, you're going to be amazing at squat and bench press. Being tall, you'll probably find perfect leverages for the deadlift. And oh, my nose is terrible now. If you're short, this is going to sound weird, but because of the square cube law, which makes the ant way stronger in proportion to its body weight than the elephant, the smaller, shorter people actually have a larger potential to be stronger in proportion to their body weight, which can, that's why gymnastics people are often a lot shorter, is because they can do much better flips and things of that nature, since they can actually produce more force in proportion to their body weight. So that would be a benefit of being short. Benefit of being tall would be that you can produce more absolute force, that you can, in certain sports, you're going to have an advantage like basketball or whatever. Yeah, now I'm just talking about random stuff, which I have to do because these videos are so long. I still have to eat. I'm sorry if you have to listen through this shit, and your brain cells are probably committing suicide by this point. But I have to post these videos. It's a part of my daily routine. It's a part of what I'm doing right now with this training cycle. I have to finish it before I reassess. So now I'm gonna eat a shit ton of food, go to bed really late, sleep like whatever it's gonna be, like 5 hours, and attempt to survive the school day tomorrow. Goodbye.